What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica Podcast, episode number 159. On tonight's podcast, we will look back at Benfica's game against Maritimo, the final league game of the season. We'll also look ahead to the final game of the season, which the League Cup for Benfica, which comes up this Friday. We're also going to look at some of the moments that mark the season for each one of us. We're going to start wrapping up the season. So next week is actually going to be our last podcast of the season. Anyway, with me tonight, look who's back.
It's Steve.
The chalkboard is back.
How's it going, everybody?
What's going on, bro?
It was a busy beginning of May. May's always pretty crazy. I had a couple of things to do. Couldn't coincide with you guys, but it's nice to be back.
All right, you're gonna have to dispel some rumors here for our audience. Any truth to the rumor that you were holding out for more money?
Absolutely. And the truth is, I got more money. We got Benfica coming to New Jersey, Toronto, and Connecticut. They're also supposedly bringing us a briefcase full of cash to divvy up between the three of us. So there you go.
You heard that?
That's what I heard.
I have yet to get that piece of news.
I on the other hand, I can't confirm.
And Cristiano Oliveira is here.
I can't confirm nor deny that rumor.
You can't confirm nor deny?
Nor deny that rumor.
Yeah, you're good for nothing.
Exactly. Listen, by the way, I just wanted to say, man, you came on this show today. You brought it, bro. You sound real sexy.
I brought it.
Your voice like, welcome back to the Benfica Podcast. I'm Alfredo Fumar. Sound real professional.
I've been suffering from some allergies, and my voice got a little deeper, and I apologize for that. And if I cough a little bit, I also apologize for that.
It's funny you're apologizing for that because there's a couple of things I need to clear up, and I don't know if it's an apology that I need to throw out there, but I think I need to throw this out there,
let's preface. Let's preface. Last week we were talking about the Champions Cup. Cristiano had some experience. He's also very close to
the dude who makes it all happen,
the main guy, and I can attest to that. I've seen texts between him and the guy, and Cristiano is not lying.
So you couldn't take Cristiano's word for it. You had to see the text.
Right. Well, no. The thing is,
he took my word, but I wanted to verify.
He showed it to me anyway.
Yeah, but it's not about the text messages. What I wanted to clear up is that a lot of you guys that were home listening, thank you very much for listening. Came at me on Twitter. Some of you guys more on the kinder side. Other guys, kind of questioning me as to
people wanted the truth.
Yeah, people wanted the truth, and they're like, it's funny. Cristiano mentions that they'll never be on this international cup tournament, and the next day they announce it. So basically what I wanted to say is that I've been privy to a lot of conversations, and some that I could talk about on air in the public, and others that I can't really talk about. One of the text messages I sent you, it basically said keep it confidential, whatever. I basically had confirmation that this tournament, that Benfica was going to come to this tournament. I couldn't talk about it because, not that I couldn't. I could have, but I respect these people, so I chose not to. But so basically, just to clear this up, all my information that I've gotten for 3 years now, 2.5 years to 3 years, was that Benfica was not going to be invited back. They were really upset at Benfica as to what happened. Just like I told you the story, it happened exact the same way. And they were, they took it the wrong way. Now, they decided to change their mind. Listen, I'm not in on every single conversation. Those aren't my decisions. And most of you guys sitting at home right now listening, if it was up to me, Benfica will be at every single one of these tournaments. Absolutely, I'd make the decision, but I don't make decisions. Yeah. So I just wanted to clear that up, guys. And I don't want you to think I was just trying to, blow smoke up people's asses. It just happened that way, man. I'm glad that they changed their mind and they're bringing Benfica. But I just want to clear that up. That I've had conversations with people, not even text. I'm talking about personal, face-to-face conversations about this whole situation with Benfica. And you know what? I'm glad they changed their mind. So.
Yeah. I think that really the stage was set. They had the Portuguese audience that they were looking to capture with this game with Porto, even though a lot of the Benfiquistas probably weren't going to go watch the Porto game. But you already have the Portuguese audience, no matter what. You got a couple international names that were going to play the team. And now, it only makes sense that you actually had the Portuguese champion to the mix instead of Porto, who apparently denied wanting to go to Mexico City, which is the organization wanted them to go play a game in Mexico City, and that didn't fit with the preseason planning of Porto. So Benfica took on a role. I'm sure that Benfica in the position that they were, they probably asked for more money than what Porto was getting.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that they were in that, they were in a bargaining position. So we're very happy. We'll give you the dates real quick before we get into anything else. Benfica will be up in Toronto on the 18th of July. They will face PSG at BMO, 8:30 p.m. local. Then on the 24th of July, they'll be in East Hartford, Connecticut, in the States, and they will face Fiorentina at 8 o'clock local. And then 2 days later, they'll be in Harrison, New Jersey, here in our backyard, facing the Red Bulls.
Those are the games that have been confirmed.
At 7:30.
But then the other game.
And then there's a game in Mexico because
on the 29th. Well, we don't know if it's in Mexico. It hasn't been confirmed yet. They haven't determined as to where they're going to play. Rumors have it it's going to be in Mexico. I don't know. Again, I'm going to throw out my old famous line. Can't deny nor confirm any of these rumors. Just going to have to wait and see until it's official.
Yeah. So let's get into the Maritimo game. Benfica played the last game of the season this past weekend at Stadio Luz. And basically it was a pretty festive atmosphere, as you'd expect, and probably not to a lot of people's liking. The players painted their faces, painted their hairs.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to ask Steve.
Beards.
I didn't like that. I mean, I understand it's a celebratory game. They pretty much clinched it. I didn't like it. You know, I would have liked to seen it after the game. The guys go nuts and run around the stadium and celebrate. But it's funny you mentioned because I was going to ask Steve. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this.
I have to agree with you for once. It doesn't happen too often, but I don't really like it either. It makes the game. I guess it really shows what the game actually is. It's just a game to play out the fixture list, but it just doesn't look very classy at the end of the day if you're already partying before the game is even done. But that's just me.
I'll tell you, I was impressed, though. Got to be honest. I was impressed, due to the fact that they all went in there with one of these nonchalant attitudes, like whatever, já ganhamos. They put a spanking on Maritimo. So, as much as I don't like it, could they paint their faces on Friday and get the victory? Is that possible?
But anyway, I'll give you the lineup real quick. And we had Júlio César in goal, Maxi, Luizão, Jardel, and Eliseu across the back, Samaris and Pizzi in the middle, Salvio and Gaetan on the wings, Lima and Jonas. So basically our strongest lineup. There was some talk on whether or not JJ was going to play some of the guys that haven't played. And I do think that his intention was to play some of those guys that haven't played, but it didn't play out. But I always thought that he was gonna line up the strongest 11, the guys that got us the championship. They were going to be there for the fans' appreciation. I always thought that was going to be it. So then, a very relaxed first half by Benfica, actually, and they actually allowed Maritimo in the game in that first half, Steve, and something that wasn't really too typical of Benfica to play at home and to allow a team in a game, especially in the first half when we always start so strong. We did get an early goal, but we kind of threw it in second and coasted the rest of the first half, basically.
That's exactly what happened. I think Lima scored quite early, 5th or 6th minute, and you could see that there was a little bit of a lax attitude, and there wasn't the pressing on the ball that normally there was from the front two guys, from Jonas and from Lima, which to an extent made Pizzi.
Look at his face. Look at his face. He's like, Popeye.
Wow.
Steve, 1 week back and his internet is letting him down.
1 week, 10 minutes.
And I hate to always bring up this joke because this joke is getting really old.
Yeah, last week I mentioned that when we had Patrick and I said this is getting corny.
Yeah.
But now it's like,
it's hilarious though.
As I was
look
saying,
at his face. Look at his. There he is.
He's back.
It's almost like the first time I'm about to talk on every podcast, my internet decides to get screwy. Where did I leave off?
Peasy.
Yeah. Pizzi, it kind of made him look bad because his defensive frailties are going to be showed a lot more if the game is a bit more open. If Gaetan isn't working off the ball the way he normally does, if Lima isn't working off the ball the way he normally does, he gets more exposed. That on top of it all, Pizzi wasn't very good on the ball either. So I could see how JJ decided to choose to time and bring on Talisca. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think PZ is a very good, period. But go ahead, as you were saying.
Not very good. No, he's a squad player at best. But the funny thing is, aside from the matches against the big two, how much did we actually miss Enzo throughout the rest of the season?
We did it. And it went back to taking this all the way back to like September when Garay left, August, September, and we started the Champions League campaign, and we were talking about whether Lisandro Lopez or Jardel were going to play, and I think I've said it multiple times that Benfica is really going to need this dude against Porto and Sporting and everything else. Anyone else will do, and it came into playing the Champions League. I think we all had the same thought in mind here. And you're right, Steve. I mean, with the exception of the big games, you could pretty much throw up any Benfica player in there. You're not really going to miss a beat. But you know, it's about the big games, man. We all want Benfica to return back to the glory days. We want Benfica to be playing on those European nights.
Yeah.
And that's every time I throw a comment out and I try to knock PT, it's more with those nights in mind than the games against the Penafiels and the Orocas of the world.
What do you guys think of the logic of maybe Lima and Jonas were told not to put in that much work because they were both in line to be in the race for best scorers? What do you think? Do you think there was some kind of instructions from JJ to tell him, hold on, save your strength from when you have to score?
No,
goals?
Absolutely not. Because I mean, look, didn't Lima score 2?
Lima scored 2.
And how many did Jonas score?
2.
2. Okay, then and Jonas went for a third that was wrongfully called offside. So I don't think they had any instructions. I don't think that, and they tried. So anybody that comes up and says that they had instructions not to go out and put up their best, best foot forward, I think you guys are wrong.
On the defensive side of the ball, I could almost see where Alfredo's going, where they were told to save their energies. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
You meant defensively.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Because you said
I was mentioning pressing before.
No, because Steve was mentioning pressing.
Okay.
That these guys actually it kind of broke down a little bit of a system, and it made Pizzi look bad because they weren't pressing as much. So Pizzi was being outnumbered in the middle, especially with the defensive midfield in Danilo.
And Danilo was quite impressive. If you watch the kid, you kind of see the type of player that Jorge Jesus likes to play at number 8, a very strong.
I don't know. For some reason, something
type player. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but you know how he always gets linked or whatnot. I can kind of see. I could see the type of player that JJ likes to mold into that position. A very physical, powerful player with pretty decent feet.
Yeah, I was actually at the end of the game. I don't know if anybody noticed, but JJ went up to him and he was talking to him with his hand over his mouth. So I don't know. I think he's a persona non grata over at Benfica because of the way he left Benfica. But I mean, is it a player?
Was it not Danilo that knocked over JJ as well? Or am I getting so there could have been a little bit about that.
But at the
I know.
They spoke, but at the end of the game, I don't. If you guys,
I think JJ might have been telling him, "Opa, tu foste burro a sair. You could have been playing for me today."
Eu vou para o Real Madrid para o ano e vou-te levar.
No,
you heard it here first.
No, but
didn't Danilo go to like AC Milan or something? Parma, right?
Either Parma or Inter.
I think it was Parma.
One of those.
Parma.
But he kind of left Benfica because Benfica wouldn't pay him the money that he wanted.
And they didn't promote him to the A team. And I think maybe JJ had something. Maybe that was the message, Steve, going back and forth that, listen, you didn't play but now you keep playing like this, the doors will be open, hopefully in this summer. I mean, the kid has shown that the potential to play, at least in the Portuguese first division. The kid, he's a spectacular player, at least in the Portuguese league. Yeah.
He's a good player. But anyway.
He's better than Pizzi. I'll take him over Pizzi all day.
No, but he's a different player than Pizzi. He's a defensive guy.
I still take him, though.
Yeah, I would take him, too. But anyway,
Steve just
here's a big thing with the game is that there was a couple of guys there that actually needed to play in order to be considered champions for Benfica. And one of them was Silvio. The other one was Paulo Lopes. Which
did not get into the game, and I think he was pretty upset. And Mukhtar was the other guy.
Well, the thing with Paulo Lopes, and I'm pretty sure that there was a substitution reserved for Paulo Lopes because he went out to warm up, and then Salvio had the unfortunate event of getting injured. Apparently, some torn ligament.
He tore a ligament in his knee, and now it's
gonna be out for a bit.
Seems pretty severe. And Balla actually came out today and is guaranteeing that he will be a part of Benfica squad come next season.
Well, yeah, because there was something going on where apparently Liverpool came around sniffing and they were ready to make an offer. But now, if he's going to be out for 5 months or whatever it is, I mean, he's going to stay at Benfica for sure. And this is the second time that this kid gets hurt right at the end of the season. It's unfortunate for him. I feel bad. Yeah. He's a good player, obviously.
Second season in a row, he's bandaged up or limping when he's celebrating. So yeah.
I mean, if I'm a club, if I'm any club throughout Europe in the major leagues and contemplating whether I should spend big bucks on this guy, you're obviously going to go back on his track record here, on his injury record, and you're definitely going to scratch your head as to what should you spend the 25 mil plus that's going to take to get this guy on this team. I mean, and let's be realistic, and then we're not going to turn this pod into a Liverpool pod here, but does Liverpool really need a player of his stature? I don't.
Liverpool doesn't need half the players that they have over there.
Okay.
They buy all the players to play behind the striker that they can in the world and get stuck with them.
They don't have they don't need half the players. But anyway, so unfortunate that Paul Lopes couldn't get the start.
And he was upset.
Yeah,
I think we should point that out. He was pretty upset. He said
he was upset.
So
but
campeón, mas não sinto campeão.
But understandable.
I guess. Listen, he's the third choice goaltender. Listen,
third choice.
He
goes to work like everybody
else, and
he
gets paid like everybody else.
He's a champion.
Third choice. Absolutely. I'm not saying that. I thought you were gonna say he should be playing because he goes to work like everyone else.
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say you're third choice goalkeeper, man. And this ain't no Sporting or whatever. This ain't no little kids club where everybody gets a medal for participating. You know what I mean?
And he knows that he is.
Okay, but he was upset. He said, sin campeón, but he has to understand he's 30, whatever, 36 or whatever it is. Okay, this is a guy that he sat behind two very good goalkeepers. One of the two stepped in. Let's not forget, guys, that the two really played well this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freaking JC with that save.
It's a monster, bro.
That kick save.
The kick save, the point blank save too in the first half.
Dude's a spectacular goalkeeper.
He was 1-on-1 with the guy. The guy was almost in the 6 and he blocked him.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
He's an incredible keeper.
Holy cow, bro. What's going on over there, man? It's probably one of the biggest acquisitions all year.
The guys, I don't think he was the difference between us winning the title and not winning the title. I mean,
he wasn't the difference.
No, we spoke about this before, and we talked about whether him or Oblak and whatever. We had this conversation, but realistically, I think Benfica. I think even with Artur, man, one of the two stepped in, but Artur played spectacular. I love JC, and I'm not trying to criticize the guy, and I'm glad that Benfica has him, but I don't think the dude was the difference between Benfica winning the title or not. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Steve.
Could be. So Jonah's Steve, we talked about this. We've talked about the difference between Artur and other goalies, especially Oblak when Oblak was there. And I think with JC, the one thing that JC brings to the team is, he gives confidence. He gives confidence, but he gives confidence to the back line also. While they're
seen it all.
The back, the feet. The playing with the feet, very shaky about it, dude. All right, he's good in between the posts. He's a little suspect coming out. Forget his feet game. But Julie Cesar just brings so much to this team.
He does. You know what? And again, I'm not by saying that I don't think he was the difference between Benfica winning the title or not. I'm not criticizing the guy. I absolutely love him. I was ecstatic when Benfica signed him. If you recall, go back and play the pods. I was doing cartwheels down my street here. But that being said, I mean, how many games did he really save Benfica? That's what I'm trying to say. Did he come up with crucial saves?
Oh, man, he did.
Was it crucial?
A lot of crucial saves.
He did. Listen, there was crucial saves this weekend.
He made it look easy.
Would Benfica still would have won the game this weekend, even if he gave up those goals? Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm trying to say.
You can never know.
Okay, I guess.
You never know. I mean, he made some crucial saves, and he made them look easy, bro. He made some saves look easy. I mean, we've seen some saves from. There was one save from him in a game, if I don't remember, that we were up 1-0 at late in the game, and it was a game up north, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't. Benfica was playing away, and there was a shot, and he dives to his left foot, and he goes and gets a ball on the left side. And I was like, wow, that was the goal.
The dude's a spectacular goal. 35 years old, and he still has reflexes with the best of them.
Yeah. You got the reflexes of a cat.
Yeah, it's funny that we're sitting here because
mongoose.
We go back a couple months ago. I'm the one sitting here and really talking him up, and this time I'm kind of like not knocking him. I'm just not blowing him up.
Yeah.
And you guys are going the opposite way.
Simba says that luckily JC's wife made him go to SLB.
She's
I don't know if there's any truth to that, but if Simba's saying it, I believe it.
Said something about an interview as well. I didn't get to listen to her interview.
Me either. She used to be a former soap actress. Did you guys know that? Susanna Werner? A footballer?
I thought she played soccer.
Não, ela joga com as bolas, mas não é dessas.
So uncalled for. I know she was dating Ronaldo Phenomenal in the '98 World Cup. That I'm sure.
Well, if that's the same chick I'm thinking about, she was a footballer. Yes.
No, she wasn't. Susanna Werner.
If it's the same chick I'm thinking about,
look her up. She's a soap opera actress, dude.
So she can't go from the football field to the acting field.
What if she did both? Anyway,
you think she played a footballer in the soap opera? That could be. So maybe that's why you guys got it confused.
This chick,
Susanna Werner. Yeah, that's her. Ela está aí.
Yeah, that's the footballer.
Footballer, that tá maluco, man. Larga isso, pá. Estás a saber muito, pá.
Olha ali, sol no cu.
Sol no cu.
She was part of.
Malhação, read them.
Yeah. Wrong chick. But Ronaldo used to date a footballer. She was hot.
She was hot.
Maybe I'm getting confused. But
Steve, Steve, I went down that path because of you, bro.
Anyway, so in regards to the best scorers, Jonas was one short of Jackson Martinez and needed to score a hat trick to be tied with Jackson Martinez. And obviously, the fact that he played less games would have put him over the top. Hey, to me, I don't know how many less games he played than Jackson Martinez. To me, is going to be probably the best scorer. He's got at least, I would say, maybe 3-4 games less than Jackson Martinez.
Just the girl, remember, yo.
I mean, larga la ispa.
Yeah, well, Jonas will be an MVP of the season. I'm next to positive when that award comes out. He'll be player of the season. I don't know if goals in the TAS are included in that, but he probably tops off of that as well.
Yeah, the dude's the leading goal scorer na Taça de Cerveja, na Taça de Portugal, and he could have been the leading goal scorer in the Campeonato Português. My man would have wrapped up all three.
Short.
All of that, and really you can't measure Jonas by the goals he scores only. He brings way too much more else to the team.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah. All right, so last game of the season, a big 4-1 win for Benfica at Stade de Luz. The team celebrated with the fans afterwards. They brought out the podium, handed the trophy. In attendance were the father and 2 kids. The father, if you recall, and you were listening to last week's podcast, was the one that was attacked by the police at the Guimarães game. He was there. The kids were giving medals, champion medals also, which I thought it was a very nice gesture by Benfica. That's not saying that you should get in trouble at other stadiums against other clubs to look to see if Benfica will pick you up somewhere. It's just an unfortunate event, and I think Benfica did the right thing by calling the kids to the party and the father also. But anyway, so wrap up the season. I didn't even look up to see how many points that we finished up with, and I don't know if it was a record or not. But I think we had the best attack, if I'm not mistaken. Not the best defense, but definitely the best attack. And that's pretty much it. That's a wrap for the season. But right now, I wanted to go to you guys, and also I'm gonna participate in and talk about 3 key moments of the season. Not necessarily games, but 3 key moments of the season for you guys. Marco Lopes has actually written a piece for our website, BenficaPodcast.com, where he mentions 7 key games to the championship, to Benfica's championship. I advise everybody to go and check that out, written by Marco. But who wants to go first? I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got six moments that I thought were crucial in the season. Not necessarily games, but moments, key moments for me. So if you guys want, I'll go first since I got more.
Let's let Chris go ahead and go first, because
I'll get my 3 out the way quick. That will
be the one that I'm sure everyone has the same. But
you don't know what I'm gonna say. I think the moment we signed
one, so
I think the moment we signed Jonas, that was crucial.
That's one.
That's obviously a very crucial moment. And not only did we sign this guy, we got him for free, ladies and gentlemen. This is the guy that came on and scored 31 goals for Benfica. in all competitions. Just tremendous. I don't think Benfica could have won this title without the guy. Okay, that's just my. The other crucial moment, you could just go back and say, signing JC, because you guys just made such a big thing about him. So obviously that could be it. But obviously that one I just came up with right now. Beating Porto, going to Estádio da Luz and beating them 2-0, 2 goals from Lima. My bad, I apologize. Estádio da Luz, I apologize. And beating them 2-0. Even though we didn't play our best game, I thought that was absolutely crucial. And I think that instilled a lot of confidence in Benfica that we could, maybe we have something here. Maybe we can go forward and we could definitely compete for the title and winning it, because if we could beat these guys at their own house, there's no reason not to beat anyone else at their own house. So I thought that was absolutely crucial. And then one game that I don't think a lot of people are going to talk much about it, but I thought that it was a couple weeks later after playing Porto, and Benfica's season could have gone either way, which was beating Guimarães at home, the 3-0 game. Guimarães at the time, 3-0 at the time. Guimarães was playing spectacularly well, and Benfica were able to kind of like, calma aí, que manda aqui sou eu. And they spanked them pretty bad, and I think from that moment on, it was kind of like, okay, all right, Porto, beat them at home, got some confidence. We're able to go out and beat, which at the time was one of the best teams at home, having beating Porto and I believe Sporting at their own house. And then they come to lose and we spank them. I think that gave this team a lot of confidence.
Yeah. So that's your 3 moments.
I'm just gonna go with 3. I'm gonna let you guys rack up the rest. I don't want to hog up.
You want to go next, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I can go next. My 3 are, I tried to choose some that were 3 games that weren't, or 3 moments in matches, or 3 games that weren't on Marco's list. One of them I just couldn't avoid. My first one is the loss to Braga in the league. I think it really opens up JJ's eyes and kind of gives him an idea that Jonas just can't be left on the bench. That's the last time that you'll see Jonas start the game as a guy on the bench. He comes in on the 62nd minute, and that is the last time it happens. I think it was an ugly game. We were up 1-0 early. We got kicked around quite a bit up north, and the ref didn't really do much about it. But aside from the loss itself, I think that's when JJ kind of just clued in, and we got to keep Jonas on the pitch. Other one was a lot earlier than that, was the first leg versus Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. I think this is the first indication that you see from JJ that he probably knows he's going to have to really calculate and manage his squad throughout this season. I think he looks at it and he just doesn't see that he has the squad to compete on 2 fronts, especially not in the Champions League. So what he does, we have a match versus Aroca at home on the weekend, and JJ rests Maxi, Samaris, and probably one of his preferred players, Lima, against Bayer Leverkusen, so that they're fresh to play against Aroca at home. You look at that and you kind of think, you know what? JJ is probably putting all his weight on the league because he does not have much faith in a European venture this year. Third one, JJ was doing calculations and managing the squad all year long. If Jardel doesn't score a 94th minute equalizer at Sporting, that looks like it was all a bunch of crap. But since he does end up scoring that, he gets the result that ultimately he was going for. I mean, if you watch all of our games, even versus the bigger clubs, or Sporting and Porto anyway, if you watch all of these matches, I think the clear intention from JJ in all of them was not to lose. Even the game that we win 2-0 in Porto, we were set up in a way that we don't want to lose this game. So that's the way he approached every game. We almost lost the game in Sporting if it wasn't for the last minute goal by Jardel.
Yeah,
man, you cheated. I was keeping it to 3 moments in the Portuguese league. You went to the Champions League. You cheated.
Well, 3 key moments in the season.
Whatever. I was thinking about. I'm messing with him.
Yeah. But I also have that Dragão game as one of my moments, and I think the other one is also the tie in Alvalade, especially the way we did it at a time when Sporting was closing in, and that if we had lost that game, everything would have been close. I'm not saying that that Sporting would have the drive to finish off or at the league or to keep up with the rest of what was going on, but at that point, it could have put unnecessary pressure on us. And after winning at the Dragão and then coming off with a tie at Stadium Alvalade, I thought that was pretty good. The exit from Europe for me is a key moment because at that time, all of a sudden the team turns and concentrates on the league and the Bicampeonato, I think. And I don't know if it was by design. Something leads me to believe that it was by design, that JJ had a conversation with Luis Felipe Vieira and said, look, this is what we have. This is the personnel that we have. And this is all we got. So you gotta choose. Either you want to go a little deep into the Champions League, maybe even make another run at the final of the Europa League, or do you want the Bicampeonato? Because we can't be in all these fronts. So I think the decision was made, and from the approach that JJ had on a Champions League, something tells me that it was enabled by the president. That's the read I get from it. I think another key point of the season is probably Enzo's exit, not because of how crucial he was to us. We all know what he is, but I think this is the second year in a row that we've seen a player go halfway through the season and the team really rally around that exit and rally around JJ to finish off strong. And I think that for a team that there's a lot of talk about unity, there's a lot of talk about togetherness, there's a lot of talk about spirit, team spirit, and a lot of guys dying for each other on the field. I think that the Enzo's exit and the fact that there wasn't one clear guy that was going to be a substitute, that JJ had to adapt Pizzi to the role. I thought that was an excellent key moment of the season for me, where the team just rallied around and just showed how much the team was together. That they said, despite this guy leaving, he's our best player, despite him leaving, we're just gonna rally around and get this done. Let's see, the win at the Dragão already said. I think a big key moment and early on in the season was probably the opening day win. We hadn't won opening day in I don't know how many years, like 7 years or 8 years, maybe more than that. And I thought that opening day win was crucial, especially when we were looking around. We were seeing what Porto had done in the offseason. We had lost that many players in the offseason. And just to be able to get started with the win in the league, that was huge, I think, for me. And lastly, and I'm not saying because of the game that we went to the game. Obviously, this game was the Braga game.
That's a great point. I wanted to shout that out. I forgot.
And the fact that up until this point, Braga was the only team that had beaten Benfica twice domestically. And at a point in the season where it's so crucial, that we were coming into the final third of the season, it was crucial. We had the Porto game 3 or 4 fixtures ahead of that. And to be able to just completely dominate Braga at Stade de Luz, I thought that was another crucial.
No, I agree. I actually had thought about that one before, but right now when you put me on the line and asked me about my 3 choices, I completely forgot about that one. I just blanked. Yeah. But that was used out because we all thought that would be the last huge game leading up to the Porto game. At least I think so. In my mind, it was. I didn't really respect Sporting that much, so I thought that game, like you've mentioned, is a great shout. That they'd been the only team that beat us, and not just once but twice. And domestically, that game right there was huge. And you saw the support of the fans. They came out. They absolutely packed Stadio de Luz. And it seemed like from that day on that huge wave of fan support just followed the team and lifted the team to the title till the very end.
Yeah, and also Mario brings up a great one. It was kind of odd not odd. I think that a lot of people appreciated what was going on when we lost to Zenit for the Champions League. And there was such an outpour of camaraderie. Camaraderie. Did I say that right? It was an outpour of support from the fans following the loss to Zenit. I thought that was great.
It showed that the fans were behind this club.
It was the first sign of that colinho that everyone's talking about, of the club being on the lap, or the players being on the lap of the fans. I was actually at that game, and it was quite a surreal moment to watch I believe it was like the last 3 or 4 minutes of the match, and we weren't we weren't very good. There was a lot of effort, especially since we went down to 10 men. We put out a respectable performance in terms of effort, but we were in a different league in terms of quality. Um, but the way the fans just really showed up and said, you know what, this is what it is. We'll be here for you from the beginning to the end, whether we have good days or bad days. This is what we're going to do for you. I think it was a sign of things to come for the season for sure.
Yeah, and Mr. Duckstep also had the same thought. I don't know if it was Mary. It was definitely Mr. Duckstep. The signing of Jonas Jardel's goal to tie versus Sporting in the scenes after the loss to Zenit in the Champions League game. Yeah.
All good shouts.
Yeah, Mario said the key part of the season was getting more from unexpected key players like Jardel, Eliseo, Talisca, and Pizzi. For him were some of the key moments of the season, which is also another great shout. And Peggy, the key moment for me, Artur's penalty save against Passos early on when the media was hounding him all week.
Yeah, that was right at the Julius Cesar injury, and I think Passos were playing quite well. There was a lot of talk in the media about will Artur cough it up like he did versus Sporting earlier in the season and whatnot. But he was very good while JC was out.
All right. Anything else that you guys wanted to add?
No, I think we hit a lot of good points.
We got Nelson's halftime headlines coming up. Stay tuned.
And now, the halftime headlines.
Muito bom, muito bom, muito bom. E é bom para o Lopetegui, já que o Jorge Jesus não encaixa o nome. Lopetegui, bem feito. Ganhamos à custa dos azuis, mas foi bom, foi muito bom.
This week, we look at Jorge Jesus, the Portuguese mastermind behind the Red Eagles' success over the past 6 years. He started at the club in the 2009-2010 season, winning the title with a Rolls-Royce stable of players like David Luiz, Aimar, Di Maria Coentrão, and Saviola. He's the only Portuguese coach with 3 domestic championships. His contract is up for renewal. Will he stay or will he go? Will he continue to breed a successful formula for Benfica? We'll just have to wait and find out. Nas modalidades, Benfica's hockey and patins team beat Sporting 3-0 to win the Taça de Portugal over the weekend, thus bringing another title home to Lisboa. Congrats to them. And with the domestic championship coming to a close, rumors are starting to fly on who's out. But perhaps the most interesting rumors are of who's not coming back as opposed to who's leaving. It's been widely reported that Deportivo da Coruña are looking to finalize the deals on all 4 of Benfica's loanees that are currently at the club. Eldor Costa, Fat Sydney, Luis Farinha, and one of the fans' most prized homegrown players, Ivan Cavaleiro. All 4, possibly, could bring in close to 50 million euros from players that aren't likely in the team's future plans. And that's all for this week.
We are the champions of the night.
That was another.
All right.
Very well put together by
Good job. You got a limit on what's going on with the news, but he always manages to find something good to throw up. Cancelo has been sold 15 million. Steve, for me, good business.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I know it's harsh to rule a kid out this soon. I don't know. I don't see that he's progressing enough. Even though you're not playing a lot, but it's just very silly decisions every time I watch him play. I'll say this now: if he does make it as a pretty decent player, I don't think it's going to be as a fullback. I just think he makes way too many errors in his own half of the pitch to ever really make it as a fullback, unless he's coached by somebody who's very, very strenuous and very can't find the right word right now, but somebody like JJ. I mean, if JJ had him, he has similar qualities that Coentrão had, and we never thought Coentrão was going to be a fullback that he ended up being. So it's a possibility, but for 15 million, I'm willing to let him go.
Yeah, I think 15 million is a very, very good money, Christian.
No, it is. It is. But, to me, it all goes down to, is Moxie going to come back? Are we going to need to go out and spend
I think
money?
at this time, yeah, you pocket the 15 million.
I think you take your chances. You
Throw
take your
Maxi
chances.
some more money, please.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
hopefully that's
please.
what they do. But to me, this whole Moxie thing, I was at a bar earlier today, and
Really?
yeah, I was out for lunch.
Was it a nudie bar?
No, nothing like that. And all of a sudden the Benfica conversation started. This whole Moxie thing came up, and I asked these guys the same question. I'll pose it to you guys, which is, if Moxie was coming back, what the hell's taking him so long to announce it? I mean, that's the thing. That as of next week, the guy will become a free agent.
Yeah.
He's got one more game to play on Friday. He could go out there and tear all 3 ligaments in his knee.
He's already
Okay.
said. He's already
And
said.
Said what? That he wants
That
to come
money.
back.
That money doesn't matter.
Okay, so then why hasn't he signed on the
I
dotted
have
line?
no idea.
You think this guy wants to be out there with the uncertainty of a contract
I-
over and get hurt on Friday, and then all of a sudden he's out of a contract with anybody?
Not only that, I mean, he's got. His family has established very deep roots in Portugal. I think his wife might have had kids here. His kids go to school here, and to just. I mean, I know it's the life of a footballer that you move around and you go to all these countries, but I'm sure that. I don't know. Maybe the money's not there. Maybe,
Bro, I hope I'm wrong. I
don't
hope I'm dead wrong. I love being wrong when it comes to my teams, but again, if it wasn't about the money, why the hell is he signed? What's
no
what's
idea.
the holdback? I mean,
I
he
have no
could have
idea.
signed a deal anytime within the last 6 months. As of January, he could have signed a pre-contract with any other team, which he hasn't done too, so that's kind of positive. But that being said, why hasn't he signed with Benfica? He says all the right things. I mean, Nico Gaitan said the right things too the other day, if you guys don't recall. Me and Moxie, we love this team. We want to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, prove it.
I think that Benfica was waiting to see what this Cancelo thing was gonna happen.
Oh, you can't put Moxie on hold for Cancelo, dude. I'm sorry, you just can't do that.
No, but I mean, he's not out of contract yet. He will be out of contract in June 30th.
Yeah, it's a very funny situation.
I agree with you guys.
I still think that it is money. As much as Maxi will come out in the public and say that it isn't, really, who's to blame him for trying to find one more huge paycheck to set him up for the rest of his life? You can't blame the guy. But I have an inkling to believe. I think he's going to stay. I don't know what it is, but I get this feeling that he is going to stay.
I think he's staying now.
I hope so, and I'm not saying he's not ultimately going to stay. I don't see it.
I think he's staying now.
Why hasn't he made it official then? Why wait? Again, he can go out and get hurt, and let's say he gets a career-ending injury, and let's say he's out of his money. Why do that? There's one thing that professional.
You can't think about. You can't think about it like that.
There's one thing that professional athletes love, and that's security. Okay. He doesn't have any as of right now.
You can't think about that.
Okay, all right.
I think that if he gets hurt in the last game, Benfica still offers him a contract.
So do I.
Yeah, but it won't be for what he could get right now.
It won't be for what he could get. But if it's the same thing that he's making,
so then if it wasn't
not
about
bad.
money, why wouldn't he have signed already?
I just don't know, man. I can't tell you. Let me call Luis Felipe Vieira right now and find out.
I think all three of us have said this in the past. There might be that handshake agreement that we all heard of so much about with Enzo Perez. You know what? Stay through the Champions League. Let us get on our feet, and then we go. Minute we're out, you go, and he's gone. Moxie, it could have been the same thing. Give us one final year, and then you know what? We won't sell you because if Benfica don't have this dude tied up to a contract, he could come June 1st, or I think it's June 1st. It's not even June 30th. I think it's June 1st. They become free agents, if I'm not mistaken. June or July 1st, and he can walk.
June 30th is his last day.
He could walk to any club and sign with anybody, and now it's all about him. It's a lot easier if you want to sign, join Club A, right? And now the team doesn't have to put up $10 million to sign you.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. I think he's gonna walk. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna walk because I don't see any rhyme or reason as to why he hasn't signed up to this point.
Yeah. I think that, and you guys probably all agree that he probably had some figure in mind and that he has been waiting for, and it hasn't been there for him. And, without somebody coming in with that figure, which would probably in his mind would outweigh anything that he has in Portugal, roots, family being happy, the love for the club. And if nobody comes with that figure where he knows that's going to be the one thing that's going to move him away, then just leave it alone.
But Alfredo, we've also heard about his love for Peñarol.
He's gonna make more money at Peñarol than Benfica?
I'm not saying he's going to do that now. I'm just throwing the whole love thing out because you mentioned the love for Benfica. And I'm saying we also heard that he wants to play for Peñarol before he retires. He has love for Peñarol. Listen, he's not there. He's obviously at Benfica making more money. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Somebody get
I think it's about the money.
Somebody get Maxi a PS4 and some FIFA.
I think it's about money.
We'll get him playing at Peñarol in no time.
Okay.
I think it's definitely about the money. But I just think it's like I said. I think that there's a figure that he's looking for that would make it work. Just like you, when the big dogs came sniffing around, you know that there's that figure you got to hit.
And they didn't hit it.
They didn't hit it.
They didn't hit it.
Bye and butter. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, arrivederci. Come back next week.
That's it.
But then they never came back. I bluffed and they called my bluff. And they go to
Agora fudeu.
Fudeu, menino.
Anyway, I think Meg was asking a question. The game that defined the season. I think we're all in agreement that the game that defined the season was definitely the Dragão game. I think that was one game, and I think if anybody that you talk to, including some of the experts, they will say that was the one key game that won Benfica the season. Because if you look at if you think about it, and obviously, regardless, Benfica finishes the season with 3 points ahead of Porto, which in essence are 4 because of that win at the Dragão. If Benfica doesn't win that game at the Dragão,
it goes down to goal scored. It comes down to goal because right now they would have been tied.
No.
What do you mean no?
No, because
because then Porto would have won at the Dragão. They got the goal.
They could have whatever.
Well, they got the goal scored at the Dragão with the win.
It's definitely the key.
But now Benfica maybe plays for the win in the second game I started to lose rather than what they did, which was they were happy with the result.
True.
I mean, it goes. We don't know, but yeah, you're right though. That game was that game. See, to me, that game not only did obviously give us the 3 points, but I think it gave the whole club the huge psychological advantage of knowing that they could compete with Porto, man, the big bad world. I mean, if you guys recall, for those of you listening to us right now, throughout most of the season, you guys know we did this a lot more at the beginning of the season than we do now, which was go up and down each, the big threes lineups, who had better players where. And I think, we took like 8 of the 11. We picked Porto.
Yeah,
think about that,
man. We got crucified for it.
We did
the following weekend. After the game, we got crucified for saying that Porto had a better team than us.
But again, I think that some of the Benfica players might have even thought about that. And then you go out there and you beat them 2-0. I think that you left Stadio Dragão flying high, man. I think that the confidence level was as high as it's ever been throughout the season at any point.
Huge. I thought it was huge. I thought that it was a huge morale boost. Not to mention the points, and now you're holding this advantage over Porto, which is the advantage that you took to start to lose. You got 2-0. You couldn't lose. You could lose, but you can lose by two goals, or you can lose by more than 2 goals. So that we all thought that was the game of the season. Anyway, League Cup comes up this Friday. I think this is the Portuguese Cup also this weekend. Sporting's playing Braga, something like that.
Should be this week.
Yeah, so the League Cup comes up this Friday. It's against, coincidentally, the same team that we played this past weekend, which is Maritimo. The game will be played in Stadio Enapel or FAPEL or whatever it is in Coimbra, as has been held. Benfica has won 6 of the 7 editions, if I'm not mistaken. And coincidentally, all 6 finals that Benfica have won have been against different teams. Curious stat there.
One stat I want to throw out.
I might have stole that from Patrick.
I'm glad you're throwing out stats.
Did.
The one stat I want to throw out.
Go ahead.
Is Festa, whatever his name. How you say his name?
His wife is beautiful. His girlfriend.
Good for her. What's her name? What's his name?
Feisa.
Facebook.
My man won 4 straight titles with Partizan. Goes to Olympiacos. Wins 2. So now he's on a 6 season, whatever streak. Comes to Benfica, wins the next 2. The guy, I believe I heard every year of his career, of his professional career, 8 years, the guy's been champion.
It's impressive.
Where do you go?
I mean, if I'm Sporting,
we're very lucky.
If I'm Sporting, I'm throwing $100 million at this guy.
If you guys are movie buffs, the one guy that was in The Godfather, the actor that was
Marlon
in The Godfather. No, and coincidentally, his character was Alfredo. Alfredo, don't ever go against the family.
Yes.
That guy, he was in 3 movies, and all 3 movies were Oscar winners.
And that's all he was in
It
3?
was The Godfather, the Deer Hunter, and I forget which one.
So my man decided to go out on top, huh?
He was on top.
That was it. He just did 3?
Face it. I don't know. He might have done more.
Oh, okay. So he's been in. Oh, I thought you meant he only did 3 and all 3 went out. I was gonna say my
whole
man.
movies don't count.
Home movies don't count.
Oh, man.
Anyway,
that's not as
But
impressive.
you're right. Face it. If you're out there and you want to win a championship, you
Sign the
definitely
guy.
want to sign
Sporting
Face
should
it.
throw like the stadium at him.
What do you guys have to say about the rumor of JJ going to Sporting?
It made me laugh for a little while. It was a good one.
Nah, not gonna happen. I think if his level is strong enough for Sporting, something would have happened by now. I just don't see it. It's like going from owning a nice high end car to going to like I don't know,
Fiat.
Okay, Fiat. There you go. I was gonna say I don't know. I like Fiats. A little 500 is kind of cute, but something worse than that.
Puto.
I always have to when these news come. I always have to check the calendar, make sure we're not now on April 1st. They always make me laugh so hard. I'm sure there was some kind of something that somebody put together, but I very much doubt that JJ is going to leave Benfica to go Sporting.
No, if JJ leaves, he's gonna go get
What
paid.
are you gonna pay him with? Cachaça and a bag of balls, Steve? Like we paid for
No, Ronaldo.
like we paid for Luis Felipe?
Ronaldo and Figo's shirts.
Ronaldo and Figo
That's
shirts?
their cry to fame right there. Oh my God, we got Ronaldo, we got Figo, but they never won any titles with those guys. But that's besides the point.
JJ is only going to Sporting if they name the stadium Jorge Jesus Stadio Jorge Jesus.
That'd be funny.
No, it wouldn't.
I know you guys want to shoot this down, but I don't. I have a hard time not believing that thing about him refusing his first contract offer, and that Louis Victoria's next up. I don't know, man.
We all
Sporting thing is far fetched, but I don't find that far fetched. I honestly do not.
You don't find what far-fetched?
What, that he
That's
refused-
Sporting's
that
been
he's
after?
refused his first contract offer from Benfica.
Yeah, I mean, it's negotiations, bro. When you negotiate, you come in low and try to see if a dude's sleeping and he
Obviously.
signs it. But I just don't think Benfica would do that to him, dude. I mean, realistically, this is a manager that's been very, very successful for the club. Think about how Benfica were before him and what they've become since this dude's been our coach. I don't think they would slap him on the face and just cut his wages in half. I mean, if you want to tell me they came in at $3 million, but I just don't see them cutting it in half and really starting negotiations that low.
I don't think they're going lower to what they're
Exactly.
paying him right now.
I mean, but again, $1 million off, but now straight slashing it in half.
No,
I think that was a bit too much. That's why I don't believe it, Steve.
I think
Because
there's a
of
lot
the
of
figure. The figure.
Yeah, I
makes you
mean,
not believe it.
The guy won another B Campeonato, and you're gonna slash his contract in half?
It doesn't make much sense.
Doesn't make
It's like
any
saying,
sense.
Get the
That's
F out
kind
of
of
here.
it's kind of like saying, look, here's our offer, I really don't want you. It's kind of like you
Yeah.
make an offer.
But do you think
Pushing the
it
guy
might
up
be
the-
what's the word I'm looking for? Like performance.
Bonus
Based?
laden, bonus
Yeah,
laden.
yeah.
Everything is going to be performance based.
What the guy? What else does the guy have to do, bro? I mean, you won your first B Campeonato in 33 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I'm saying so that because they're making it very clear for the past year or so that they need to cut down their wage bill. If they're playing with that option as saying, listen, this is your wage, and only if you win, you're going to get this extra million or 1.5
But
as a bonus.
How could they get that through the SAD, man? You want to lower your wage bill. You just made $15 million. Well, 30, I should say, on Bernardo and Cancelo.
Want to lower your wage bill?
You're gonna make 50 more, supposedly, right? According to Nelson's information. I've read that also on the 4 bums over there at Deportivo. So
Yeah,
that's
it's harsh.
70 million. And and that's before you're even going to sell Gaetan and whoever the hell else is going to leave this club, because we always know there's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 guys that come in and out. And you telling me you need to lower the wage bill? What are you doing with the money?
Well, you want to lower the wage bill.
And you got 25 million for Enzo. Added on top of that, that's $100 million within the last 8 months.
Cut all those bums. Those
Absolutely.
bums that are loaned out. Cut all their contracts. Send them
Cut
on
them
their
all.
way. Give them a pop sick and let them go. I mean, we're talking about upwards probably of 80 players between the B team and the A team, guys that are signed and loaned out and stuff. Speaking of signings, also, I forget who is 00. I read today, Cristiano00.pt. They were reporting that they saw the Rio Ave trio of players that supposedly has been committed to Benfica. Ederson, which is the goalie, was the Lopes kid, which is an attacking midfielder, center midfielder.
Diego Lopez, whatever his name is.
Diego Lopez.
Wasn't he a former Benfiquista already?
He was brought by Benfica from Brazil. And Hassan.
I mean, these are all signings.
Derlei part 2
to the B team.
Derlei part 2.
These are all signings to the B, with the exception of maybe the goalkeeper. The other two guys are
no.
He thinks for the A squad.
No, it's not that I think they're for the A squad. I think they're padding the squad, weakening other teams, and they'll probably be loaned out to somebody else. Personally,
those guys would end up at Sporting for sure.
Yeah, probably.
Sporting's they're gonna lose Slimani. Montero sucks. Hassan is actually a good forward.
Sure.
Will Hassan play on Benfica?
They don't have a proper. They don't have a proper attacking midfielder either.
Well, so you telling me Hassan's gonna fight with Nelson? Not literally fight, because we know how Nelson Oliveira is, but he's gonna fight for minutes with Nelson Oliveira for that fourth striker role.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm asking.
No,
because you got 3. What do you mean? No, you got 3 guaranteed.
I think Oliveira's done, man.
I think Oliveira doesn't come back. I think Derlei gets let go. I think you have Jonas and Lima again, and you need to add to that.
And you got Jonas, Lima, and Beba. Those 3 are gonna play no matter what.
Yep.
And then it's gonna be between. I mean, Hassan.
Don't forget Bebe.
Bebe's not a striker though. He played him at winger. It's gonna be between Hassan, Oliveira, and Derlei.
All of which are rubbish.
So you think Hassan's bad? I can't, guys. If I were to say, I know somebody on Twitter asked earlier, they would like to know my opinion on the 3 signings. And listen, guys, if I was to sit here and try to give you and then have to look at these guys, I'd be really BSing the hell out of you. So I won't even attempt to BS you guys. I don't really know much about these guys. I know the goalkeeper. I guess Arturo will be out, so this guy will be number 2.
Arturo's out of contract.
Arturo will be out, and he's probably getting paid a lot more than what this guy's getting paid. So it makes sense, and he's much younger, so he'll be the number 2. Again, it's not a guy I don't think Benfica brought in with the expectation that he's going to fight for first number 1 spot minutes, I should say.
He's an investment. In
Diego Lopez, a nice player who's going to play on the B team, and Hassan. Even if he stays on the team,
you think Lopez will play on the B team? He's a guy that can challenge Pizzi. He's a guy that can challenge.
Lopes is too good for the B.
Oh wait,
too good.
I think Benfica's good. I think Benfica will get someone.
Yeah, I agree.
To play the number 8 position. I don't think it's any of these guys. I think that the additions in the summer, because we know Benfica's going to go out and add. I think the number 8 position will be one of the key additions that Benfica will make to the squad.
It's crazy because actually after we go out on hiatus for vacation between during the off season, I've actually been putting together some highlights of all the podcasts from this season, and I've been going through the podcasts from preseason, and all we could talk about is really João Teixeira and how impressed we are with João Teixeira. And I'm pretty sure that kid will be in the A squad next year, and he's an 8.
I hope so.
He's an 8, dude. He's a 8.
Bro, right now Benfica has so many players.
They do.
And I don't think they're sold on any one player. I mean, think about it. You could play at the 8. You got Pizzi, who'll be, probably be back. That's fine, but right now he's on a squad. You got Cristante, another guy. He's going to have to get some minutes next year.
Who?
Cristante.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to play the 6. He's most likely going to be an 8. And if you're talking about a prototypical 8 that JJ likes, listen, this dude's big. He's going to be a box-to-box guy. I understand. But maybe that's why he hasn't played in months. And JJ's got this dude on specific training. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think JJ went out and paid $4 million from this kid to come from AC Milan with no intentions of playing this kid. I mean, you think back at Matic, all right, when he first came over in the David Luiz deal, and he had a beautiful left foot, but he was slow. You weren't impressed with him at all. And all of a sudden, from one summer to the next, the dude became a beast.
Yeah.
I don't think you've heard the last of Cristante at Benfica. I just don't think you spend that type of money and invest that time into a dude that you don't intend to play.
I think there's very big things for reserve for Cristante. And on the other hand, Also, let's suppose
Mukhtar.
that JJ goes out the door. You got a new guy.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, these other guys that have been sitting the bench and on the B team, they get a new lease on life. And with the new coach coming in, different style, different personnel, different skill sets that he wants to look at, or different people that he wants to use. I don't know, but I think there's big things reserved for Cristante. I think that he's not going anywhere. He's obviously happy with what's been happening with him at the Lush. He doesn't regret at all coming to Stadio de Luz.
No, he wins the championship. AC Milan finished like 7th.
Right. And
So
something's going on behind closed doors that we're not seeing, where I'm sure he's learning a lot. I'm sure they're preparing him and the kid.
He did go months without even making a freaking the bench.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like weird. And he wasn't hurt. I don't understand what they were doing with him, but I'm starting to think it was very specific, very like one-minded with one goal intended on work on his game, and let's see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I think all three of us will have an opportunity to watch him play here in the National Guinness
Absolutely.
Cup.
Yeah,
I think he'll play.
I'm pretty sure we will.
Yeah, for you guys that are up here that are gonna get to watch these games, I'm probably Chris.
Make sure
and
you hit
I-
us up. I'll
Chris
be
and
out
I
there.
and Steve will be at 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of these games. You could definitely look forward to seeing a lot of these guys. I wouldn't be surprised if Jean Teixeira makes the squad coming up here.
And I know that
Some-
Neil made a comment on Twitter that a lot of these guys aren't going to play. Well, there's a stipulation in the contract with the agreement with these teams that they have to play their players.
Yeah.
They don't have to play them the full 90 minutes, but they have to play. They're big name guys.
Yeah.
So don't think it's going to be a bunch of guys that we never heard of from the B team playing.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of the Jonases of the world, and unless they're hurt. If they're hurt, obviously they won't play. But a lot of these guys, the bigger name guys on Benfica, they will play, guys. They will participate in this tournament.
Well, you're looking at 3 games in the space of 9 days. So there'll be some squad rotation. And I think that a lot of these guys that are on the edge or on the fence or on the bubble of making the squad or being in that 18 that get selected week in, week out, they're definitely going to make the trip. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, João Teixeira will probably make the trip. I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw the Rio Ave guys make the trip if Benfica makes them official. But you never know. Anyway, I think that's all we got. Cristiano, got anything else? Steve says we're rambling.
Tá bom. I was wondering what the hell was that on the screen.
Steve sending us messages, rambling.
I guess to Steve, I was
Steve is
giving
calling out.
Este gajo não tá. Não, olha lá tudo, gajo. Olha lá tudo, gajo. Queres ver?
Steve, we're not calling you out. You can
Hold on,
see it on
hold
the
on.
screen. If anybody's on YouTube right now, they can watch. They can see that, Steve.
No,
they can't.
Only us.
Oh,
Mas olha lá
threw
tudo
it
este gajo. Olha, queres ver? Não aparece 2 semanas seguidas, não aparece. E agora vem para aqui a mandar apostas de pescada.
E não quer falar.
Rambling e o caralho. Foda-se.
I didn't know giving out information of the squad is rambling, Steve.
No, we're just talking about stuff that there's way too many uncertainties, and we should be waiting until next season to talk about them. That's what I'm trying to get at. But
Don't stress. All right, Steve. Well, it was nice doing a show with you in this 2014-2015 season.
thanks, Chris. You too, man.
A gente fala para o ano, pá.
Yeah, we got one more coming up. We got one more coming up after obviously this weekend, and I know a lot of you guys have already done it. But if you want to, go over to our site benficapodcast.com and vote now for best defender, best midfielder, best attacker, revelation player, most improved, MVP. I think there might be another category. Biggest disappointment, I think, is
Mais feio.
Mais feio. So go on a site and vote and get your votes, and we will obviously reveal what our favorite players were for those positions, for those categories next week.
Do I have to do that?
Yeah, well, you have to do homework next week. Sorry.
Oh no, that's going to be part of the show next week. I thought you go on the website and you vote.
You could vote.
That's what I'm
or
saying.
you could cast your vote live here on the podcast.
Epa. Tá bem.
But anyway, so that's what we got going on. Don't forget to vote on the website, and we'll discuss the results. Steve, anything else you wanted to add? Will you be here next week? That's the biggest question.
Yes, I will.
All right, good job. At 10CO10, at Steve Santos 6, at Benfica Podcast. Don't forget to check out our friends at planetbenfica.co.uk, at Planet Benfica is where you can find them on Twitter also. Peggy, M. Sergio, Kevin, Simba, Mario, all those people. I miss Timo. Timo's not here today. All those people that have been watching us and interacting with us for the whole season, we really thank you. And we're hoping we could get together. Maybe we'll make the trip. Chris and I will make the trip up to Toronto to watch Benfica. Maybe we'll all get together. We can sleep at Mario's house. I heard he's got a big basement.
You could babysit while me and Mario go watch the game.
And Neil, too. I heard Neil's got a big basement, too.
Neil works at a liquor store. I'll be hanging out with him. I heard liquor's pretty hard to come by over there in those parts of the
It's expensive.
Oh, what? Oh, it's expensive. That's what it is. That's right, Steve. You're from that area. What am I talking about?
Yeah, that's right. All right, and also just before we go,
can we bring it over the border?
Friend of the show, Lara hasn't been feeling too well. Hope she feels better soon. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Be cool. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Words to live by.
Peace in the testa.
Then he goes with that.
Wait, I can't find. Wait. Where's my cursor? I can't stop.
Wait, we're still on?
There we go.